everyone, to another episode of Brino's Brews, the show where I drink and evaluate the wonderful nectar of the gods that is beer. It's been a long time since I've done one of these shows, but the time has come because I've got another entry from the Rogue Brewing Company from Rogue Ales in Newport, Oregon. This is a unique beer called their Cold Brew IPA. It's their India Pale Ale blended with cold brew coffee. Now, IPAs and coffee, you wouldn't think that they would go together. What makes this interesting to me, though, is that they say it was infused with cold brew coffee, which is not nearly as bitter as its hot brewed counterpart. So I'm interested about this, but I'm wondering how it's going to interact with the hoppiness of an IPA. Before we find that out, though, we've got a scoring system that we use on the show. Let's go over that real quick.
Scoring for Brino's Brews is based loosely on the scoring system used by the Beer Judge Certification Program. In our system, a beer can earn a maximum of 10 points. 1 point can be awarded for appearance, 2 points for aroma, 4 points for flavor, 1 point for mouthfeel, and 2 points can be awarded for a beer's overall impression. And finally, partial points can be awarded in any category.
So that's how scoring works. So let's see how cool this cold brew IPA really is. Alright. Pop it open. Nice poof there. And okay, so let's get started here. First off, the appearance. 1 point is on the line here. Let's get the pouring. Not much in head. Okay. It's on the darker side, but I can sort of guess that that would happen because it's got a little bit of coffee stuff in it, and the head looks actually pretty nice too, though. I failed to mention at the beginning, this weighs in at 7.5% alcohol by volume, so slightly heavy, but not too heavy. Very, very clear, like that. Head is just right. Nothing objectionable at all about the appearance, so I'm giving it the full point. Up next is 2 points for the aroma of the beer. 2 points for the aroma. Let's smell it. Ooh, I can smell the coffee right away. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but the aroma of the coffee is overpowering everything else as far as the aroma is concerned. No hoppy notes at all, no citrusy stuff. It's just all coffee and nothing else. I don't know if that should be a good thing or a bad thing, because I think that if you got the coffee bits and the hoppiness in the same smell, it might be a little off-putting. I would think that you have to go either one way or the other, where it would smell all like hops or all like coffee. Just knowing what I know about IPAs, it's just, I don't know, I'm perplexed on this one, honestly. With that said, I'm going to go for a middle-of-the-road score here. Out of 2 possible points for aroma, I'm going to give it 1.5. Here's where beer proves its worth. Taste. 4 points on the line here. I'm genuinely interested to see how this will taste, whether it's the coffee, the hops, or if it's going to be perfectly in balance. And isn't even that a good thing. So here we go. 4 points on the line for the Cold Brew IPA. Bottoms up. What in the world is that? I taste something, but I'm having a hard time identifying what it is. I know cold brew coffee is not nearly as strong as hot brewed coffee, and that's why some people like it. Oh, well, got a little bit of hops at the finish there. I think I'm getting a very mild coffee flavor at the beginning, and I'm getting a little bit of the hoppiness at the end. Neither one of them is really overpowering, though, which I think is okay, which I think is a good thing. However, because neither is very overpowering, I'm having trouble clearly identifying either flavor in the beer. Nothing sticks out to me as being bitter, and nothing sticks out to me as being coffee flavored. 82 IBU, so you should be tasting some bitterness in here, but the coffee is just counteracting that. I mean, it's good that it's not ridiculously bitter, but I want at least a little bit of discernible bitterness, as well as some discernible coffee flavor, since it is a coffee beer, a cold brew coffee beer. flavor-wise, I wouldn't put this in the upper echelon of my favorite beers. I just wish that the either the hop flavor or the coffee flavor would be a little bit more pronounced, maybe both at the same time. If it was me, I would lean more towards coffee than bitterness, but just enough bitterness to let you know that it's there. And I mean enough clear bitterness, not some secretly hidden bitterness that you've got to dig for and find like I have to. So out of 4 possible points for flavor, let me do the math in my head correctly, I think this deserves 2.5. If it was a little bit stronger either way, I think maybe stronger more towards the coffee end, with maybe a extra hint of bitterness, it may have gotten a 3 or higher. But with nothing really discernible, I can't really give it any higher than a 2.5. Next up, 1 point for mouthfeel nearing the home stretch. Everything that's pleasing to the mouth. How does it feel? Let's find out. I think it's on point. It's definitely on point. The carbonation is absolutely perfect. And despite it being 7.5% in alcohol, it's not ridiculously malty. It doesn't feel very heavy in my mouth, which is what an IPA should feel like. And the coffee really doesn't detract from the feel of the mouth at all. That's also a good thing. So quite simply, this gets the full point for the mouthfeel. I can't give anything other than that. And finally, 2 points for the overall impression. It's a very different and unique concept for beer, mixing it with cold brew coffee. I like the idea. I think it's a good idea in theory, although I think they could have been better served by going with something other than an IPA. I mean, obvious choices would be, you know, stouts or porters, although I'm guessing Rogue wanted to do something different with coffee. I think they're onto something with this one, but I think it needs a little bit more refinement. Maybe if they put this with just a standard pale ale instead of an IPA. Something where the coffee flavor can really, really stand out, while still not being really, really heavy and malty and rich like that. Or maybe a session IPA just to get rid of some of the maltiness and such. Let the hops and let the coffee stand out more. But as is, it's okay. Oh, that's all it is. It's just okay. It's got room for improvement, and I would want them to improve on this. So out of 2 possible points for the overall impression, I think I'm going to give it a 1.4. I have done the math, and if my numbers are correct, then the cold brew IPA from Rogue Ales out of Newport, Oregon gets 7.4 points out of a possible 10. Overall, I think it's a really disappointing score. I would have thought that just the idea by itself, just a IPA mixed with cold brew coffee, or any kind of beer mixed with cold brew coffee, would have gotten at least an 8, maybe a 9 if it was perfect, but I had higher expectations for the beer than this. By the taste, I'm getting the impression that it couldn't decide if it wanted to be a cold brew coffee beer or an IPA, and they ended up sort of canceling each other out, and all the best parts of both are kind of absent. Well, that will do it for another episode of Brino's Brews here on Brino's World. Thank you very much for watching. If you've had cold brew IPA and think it was better or worse than I said, leave a comment down below. Or if you think there's any other beers I could try in the show, leave a comment as well. Otherwise, don't forget to like and share this video, and subscribe to Brino's World if you have not already. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a good one.